Welcome to Caskets and Cocktails, Memoirs of a Cemetery Dude. Get ready for a hilarious dive into the world of death care, where cemetery industry veteran Mr. Danny and his daughter Katie will answer all those crazy questions you've been dying to ask. Go ahead and pour yourself a drink, pull up a rocking chair, and get ready for some laughs, because we guarantee Caskets and Cocktails will be the last ones to let you down.
Hey guys, welcome to Caskets and Cocktails. I'm Katie Leverett.
I'm Danny Faulkner. I'm her daddy.
And we have an awesome episode for you guys today. So yesterday was Halloween.
Yes, it was. It was scary.
Was it? We were at the same party.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It wasn't that scary.
It wasn't. I mean, it was a little kid party, but it was awesome. Their yard is super scary, right?
But what aggravated me was one of the guys said, well, I didn't know all the adults were dressing up. And I said, well, I came as an old white man. And he looked at me and he said, well, you're really rocking that. You know, what do you mean by that?
Well, everybody loves you, Daddy.
Yeah.
Everybody online is a fan of Mr. Danny.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they like you a lot.
But tell them to send me money.
So I want to tell you, we are finally starting to get some reviews on Apple Podcasts.
Really?
Yes. Like, we have 5 out of 5 stars.
Oh, man.
I mean, we just have 8 people that have rated us. But still.
Hey, that's good.
Hey, it's good. But this is my most favorite review. It's called Southern Belle Meets AC/DC.
Oh, wow.
Crystal says, oh my God, I think I discovered my favorite new podcast. I'm a bit of a dark person. I love anything to do with the other side, and this podcast delivered a heavy dose of cemetery humor and insight into what happens beyond the grave, like in the casket and below the ground. The hosts are an entertaining mix of Southern Belle meets AC/DC, which adds so much personality to the stories. If you've ever wondered about the work that happens at the cemetery or during or after a burial, this is the show for you. I'm sold. What? That's awesome, isn't it?
How much did we pay her for that?
I know. I wish we did. Crystal, call us.
That was great.
We'll help fund you with all the money we're making off of this.
Oh, yeah. We're not making any money.
Well, not yet. Not yet. But you guys, remember, we do have a Patreon account, and we would so love your support for the show. Mr. Danny and I, we have high liquor bills. It's true.
We do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
And so that's one of the things that we need help with. So
you mean they can do that?
They can give us some money.
I'm liking this. Well, I wish we'd have started this a long time ago.
I know. So but I'm really excited because we are just getting more and more listeners. We keep growing, and it's because of you guys at home who are sharing Caskets and Cocktails with your friends and family. So keep on sharing, share on social media, and be sure to follow us on social media too.
Tell everybody you know to listen in to us, and when they listen in, tell them to subscribe.
That's right. And so today we have just like a bunch of questions.
Oh, yeah?
And the reason why I read the comment talking about AC/DC, we love AC/DC. I love AC/DC, right?
I love AC/DC.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah. Angus,
yeah, the skirts.
Man.
I like it. I like it all. But so what today's episode is, we got several questions about music today, which is kind of crazy. So here we are going into the holiday season. What is your favorite, before we get to the question, what is your favorite song at a funeral?
Oh, wow. I went to, when I ran some cemeteries in North Carolina, and one of the groundsmen died. He was not older. He was older, and he died with a heart attack. And his family, had the big funeral. And I didn't know the guy that well, but I figured, I should go.
Yeah, I mean, you work with him.
And
I mean, you just have to step outside, right? It's not like you got to go anywhere.
Well, this was at a cemetery across town that he worked at. So I go to the funeral and walk in, and the preacher comes in and sits up front like they all do, and all this stuff. And then the music starts, and it had a good sound system. It was Voodoo Child by
Oh my gosh, that is awesome.
yeah,
You were
by Stevie Ray Vaughan.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
were
it
you
was.
like, I should have gotten to know this dude?
Yeah, that's what I said. And he was my age.
Oh my
You know,
gosh.
and I was thinking, man, why didn't I know this guy?
I know. You should have been friends with that guy.
I love that music.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
We don't get that many like that.
Yeah, he sounds like a cool dude.
Yeah, he was. He really was a cool guy.
Well, we're going to get to our first question, and it's actually from Liz over at Tacos and Tales.
Uh-huh.
And they were on our show last week, and we were on their show last week.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
So hang on tight, and let's hear Liz's question.
Okay.
And hi, Katie and Mr. Danny. This is Jane. My question is, have you ever had a situation where you get two women showing up to the funeral, Carrie Underwood, Two Black Cadillacs style?
So that's a good question.
That is a good question.
Yeah, that song is awesome, too. I love that song.
Yeah. I mean, I remember parts of that song. And the most I remember is that the wife and the girlfriend were like in two different limos.
Two Black Cadillacs. Has that ever happened? Have you ever seen that where some old geezer dies and it's like a wife and then he's got his like 28-year-old girlfriend showing up?
Well, there's been a lot of those.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's bad.
I've had old geezers my age with young 30-year-olds or something, you know. And the wife is, of course, devastated but stoic. Because the wife is the one getting the money.
Oh, yeah.
So she can afford to be stoic. And the 30-year-old is devastated because she's not getting the money.
Right.
But, no, it happens a lot. I mean, 3 or 4 years ago, we had this guy who, I mean, you got to love him. I mean, he went to his girlfriend's house, and this was during the day, and he did what you do at your girlfriend's house. And they got through.
I got it. Everybody gets it.
And so he walks out on the front porch, closes the door behind him, and drops dead as a hammer.
Oh my God.
On the front porch.
Oh, that is he busted.
Oh yeah. And well, she calls 911. 911 comes. They get all the information. She gives She gives the cops or whoever, the EMTs, the coroner, the wife's name and phone number, and so
she knows all along.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But, I mean, they had to call her and say, we found your husband on so-and-so location. But the wife knew about her. But, there's no confrontation there.
Right.
Because, I don't know why but anyway, that was a bad scene. The funniest one, probably, I would guess the funniest. It's not funny. It's pitiful. Why did I say funny? It's not. I apologize for that.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
It
is. This guy, 30-something. He gets shot in a dope deal.
Oh.
Yeah. Fortunately, they just shot him in the chest, so he had an open casket.
Oh, God. Chris.
He looked good.
From the neck up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Everything that you could see looked pretty good.
Yeah, okay.
And the wife had a chair beside the casket. And she was crying and, patting on him and all this sort of stuff. And this baby doll comes up carrying like a 2-year-old.
Uh-oh.
And she's crying. She's all tore up.
Oh, no.
And she leans over and says, kiss your daddy goodbye. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, what did that wife do?
It was on like Donkey Kong.
Oh my God.
She was on her like white on rice. And
did somebody get the baby?
the baby was tossed in the casket with the daddy.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Just kind of pitched him in there. And there was hair pulling and
No.
clawing and screaming and cussing and crying and all that stuff. The family, what do? I mean, we don't have police there.
Right.
So the family all jumped in there and pulled them all apart and pulled the baby out of the casket and gave the woman and she had on a wig.
Oh,
and it was like over skewed, It was over to the side. And there she was. She threw that baby on her hip and she was pissed at that point. She was no longer devastated.
Yeah.
She was pissed.
Oh my God.
And she comes hipping that baby out of the chapel outside. And she was mad. Well, she wasn't as mad as the wife.
Yeah.
And the wife, evidently, it was amazingly so that was her first realization that there was something funny going on with her husband. And so
it wasn't the drug being shot in the chest at a drug deal.
Yeah, well,
that would have been one of my first clues.
I would have said maybe he's been doing things I don't know about.
Yeah.
But anyway, she reached up and grabbed the lid of the casket. Well, they're made out of steel, they're made out of metal, they're made out of whatever, but the hinges aren't designed to be slammed like slamming a door.
Yeah, or like a hood of a car.
Yeah.
I bet that's what she was thinking or something.
And that's what she did. She slammed that, and it broke that lid off. And she turned around and stormed the hell out.
Oh, my God.
And, of course, this boy's
Mom
and daddy are there, and they're saying, come back, come back. And we're just, we don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And so we got rid of one problem, and now this other problem, so we had to replace that casket. Well, now, what do?
Yeah.
Do you go to them and say, this casket costs $3,900.
Yeah.
You broke it.
Yeah.
Now you're going to have to buy a new one. So we talked about it and the decision was made that we would just eat that.
Yeah, I would say that.
So we put him in a different casket to where the hinges were all right and we were able to lock it and all that sort of stuff.
I would say that would be a super brutal conversation because she sounds tough.
Oh, yeah.
She'd whip you, I'm pretty sure.
I'm telling you, as soon as she said, kiss your daddy goodbye, she was all over her.
Oh, my God.
I mean, like a monkey on 3 acres of grapes.
Oh, my God.
She was just whopping her. Wobble, wobble, wobble.
Oh, my God.
It was not funny. I'm sorry.
It's pitiful. That is crazy.
It was. Funerals bring out the best in people.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's crazy. Well, I think that they got their answer.
Maybe so. Yeah, that's
a pretty awesome one.
Yeah, but we get a lot of them. We get a lot of them. In my advice to older men with weaker hearts, don't run around with young women. If you're going to run around on your wife, run around with an older woman that's not going to cause you to have a heart attack.
Oh my God.
Because the young ones will kill you.
Words of wisdom from Mr. Danny.
Have you ever thought of the biggest celebrity monkeys?
Or how about the best TV resurrections?
If so, join me, Mark Rushlow,
and his lovely wife, Jeanette,
on Pop Culture Nickel, where we share random pop culture top 5 lists.
Stay fresh at popculturenickel.podbean.com and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Pop-Tart Nation awaits.
Just couldn't let me get the last word in, could you?
Nope.
So those were our friends over at Pop Culture Nickel. They're so nice. It's an awesome show. They do a top 5 countdown for all sorts of different things. It's really cool. They're up in Canada. It's awesome.
I think only Canadians could have a podcast called Pop Culture Nickel because it's very difficult to say in the South.
Yeah.
And up north, they're so articulate and nice. They can say that and it just falls off their tongue.
Mark, we've been having to record this over and over again because our southern twang can hardly say Pop Culture Nickel.
We certainly can't say it as fast as you do.
I know. But guess what? They also sent us some questions.
Really?
Yeah, and they're really good ones.
Oh, Canadian questions?
I mean, they came from Canada, but I think they're applicable anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hang on.
Let's hear them.
Hey, Katie and Mr. Danny, this is Mark.
And this is Jan.
We are from the Pop Culture Nickel podcast, big fans of yours all the way from Canada, and we have a couple of questions to ask you.
Well, the first one I have, do you ever have problems with, digging animals in the cemetery? Because, I was just thinking that a gopher problem would be horrendous.
Yeah.
So,
that'd be pretty
squirrels
awful.
Digging their nuts, but I mean, over coffins is just... So, I was just wondering about that.
Mm-hmm. And I was wondering if you might have any stories about different musical performances or any kind of music-related stuff going on during a burial after a funeral service. So, just curious if you might have any stories about that. So, thank you very much for taking our question.
Yes, thank
and
you.
Keep up the great work. We're dying to hear the answer.
Ooh, so those are good ones.
They are good. They're very good.
I like the animal one, and then the music one goes right along with everything we've been talking about today. So
Yeah, that's true.
Which one do you want to answer first?
Let me answer the animal one first.
Yeah.
Okay. I've always worked all of my career in memorial parks.
What does that mean?
That's a different type of cemetery other than a church cemetery or a country cemetery or something like that. This is a perpetual care cemetery. We require concrete vaults, okay? And now 100 years ago, there are animals problems and all that sort of stuff. They invented concrete vaults. The casket goes in the vault goes down, dirt goes on top. And if an animal, which they can't, would dig down that deep, they would go to concrete, still enforced vault. So there's no problems.
Yeah, unless we get zombie-fied gophers.
That could eat concrete?
Yeah.
Well, in the South, we don't have to worry about gophers so much. We got to worry about groundhogs.
Oh.
And groundhogs love cemeteries.
Ew.
Because groundhogs eat the tubers, the roots of grass. So they'll dig and they'll eat all that grass and all that sort of stuff. But they're not interested in eating concrete.
Okay.
So
your body's safe.
You're very, very safe in perpetual care cemeteries that require vaults.
I like it. Note to future selves, guys. Go to a Memorial Park cemetery.
Yeah, exactly.
So the other part of the question from Mark, I loved as well. Both great questions.
Yeah.
But this one was about music. Do you have any weird or interesting or different stories about music at funerals?
Well, besides Bringing in the Sheaves, which I think is a pretty weird song.
Bringing in the cheese.
The Sheaves.
I don't know what that is.
Bringing in the sheaves.
What is a
bringing
sheaf?
in the. It's about wheat. It's about. It's a funeral song.
Okay.
Besides weird songs like that. We have a lot of bagpipes.
Oh, that's
in
beautiful.
the cemetery.
That's really
and
nice.
they always every bagpipe plays
Makes you cry.
It makes you cry, and they play Amazing Grace.
Which makes you cry harder.
Yeah, and it might be the only song that any bagpiper ever knows.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard anything else but that.
Yeah, they always play Amazing Grace, and but we've had harps. We've had.
That'd be kind of difficult to wheel out there, huh?
Yeah, they bring it out like in a truck, and it's difficult to do. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
On a sunny day.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Slugging it through the mud.
Yeah, right. And we've had, like trios of cellos and violins and all that sort of thing. Now, one time we did have a guy that died, and we put his casket on the back of a flatbed truck.
Ooh, this sounds like a sliding waiting to happen.
Yeah, really. But they, a bluegrass band got on the back of the
How
thing.
cool is that?
And they were, as they pulled out of the funeral home, going to the cemetery, they were playing Digging Up Bones.
Oh my gosh.
The country song, Digging Up Bones.
Now that's awesome. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool event. I mean, they were all really nice people and really down to earth. The guy was a big bluegrass fan.
Clearly.
And so his bluegrass friends got together and they did this for him.
Neat. I like that.
As a final goodbye.
Yeah, I like
and
that.
And it worked out great. Now, we've had, the question was, do you have any weird music related? One of the weirdest, which I am not a rapper. I'm not any like weird.
You're
music.
You're not a rapper, Mr. Danny.
No, I'm not, and I don't know about all these weird music stuff. But anyway, we had this kid. I say kid. He was 23, 24, something like that. He got killed in a car wreck, and he was a big boy. And put him in the casket. And his friends, this boy's parents, asked if his friends could make him up. Well, we've got excellent embalmers that can make you up to where you look like you're just
gorgeous.
Yeah, fixing to go play golf. Okay. And so the parents asked if his friends could make him up. And there's this.
That's really a weird request.
Oh,
right?
It gets weirder. Yeah, we've never had that before.
Ugh.
It gets weirder. And these kids, there's a group evidently called Insane Clown Posse.
Oh yeah, I know. I know who they are.
And I guess I don't know what they do.
They're kind of like heavy metal kind of
weirdos.
No, I mean people like them. People
Who?
like them.
Name three.
I don't run in that circle. But they're very popular.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, they got this guy, and they made his face up like a clown.
Oh my God, this is like things of nightmares.
Yeah, to match him like this Insane Clown Posse album cover or whatever.
Oh my God, that's freaking me out so
and
bad.
The casket was open. So, I mean, people walk by and go, oh shit, what is that?
Oh my gosh.
And
the parents were like all on board about it?
They were all about it. It's fine.
Maybe they were all like big fans. I
don't know.
But that would freak me out. Did you guys have to when he was in the funeral home, were you like, ooh, put a cover over this dude. He's weirding us out.
Yeah, it was a real weird experience for everybody.
I mean, I've seen the new It movie, and it's horrifying, and I couldn't sleep for days, and I feel like I'm not going to be able to sleep after this, just thinking of that.
Sorry.
Ugh.
But that was, I'm just answering Mark's question.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mark, for my future nightmares.
Yeah, way to go, Mark.
So you are awesome at answering questions, Mr. Danny.
Hey, I'm a question answerer.
I know, this is so fun. And guess what? We have more questions coming up next week.
Yeah?
But we still want to hear from you guys because this show is not going to be successful without your help. So email us those questions at casketsandcocktails@gmail.com, and be sure to download the Anchor app. There's a feature that you can hit and easily leave a voicemail for us, and we can add you in to the show, and Mr. Danny can answer your question.
Well, I mean, we've had over 800 people?
Yeah.
Well, why are they just not on the ball and sending us questions?
I know. Well, we do have a lot of questions.
Oh, we do?
We don't have
Okay.
800 questions.
Well, somebody needs to do their job.
Yeah. You guys send us more questions because we love them. They're so much fun.
Subscribe.
Absolutely. Hit subscribe. Tell your friends. Follow us on social media. We want to get to know you guys as well, and we can do that by interactions on social media and getting those questions.
Who is the guy that did the painting on PBS? The happy little...
Bob Ross?
Yeah, Bob Ross. I'm going to do the Bob Ross. Hey, listen, we love you. You love us. Subscribe.
Oh my God. That was amazing.
Yeah,
Bob Ross
thank
is
you.
looking down from heaven, painting little happy trees beside you.
I channeled Bob Ross.
He's the sweetest.
He is.
Just like you, Mr. Danny.
Oh, yeah, I'm an angel. Excuse me while I drink some more Jack.
Well, thank you guys, and I'm so glad I get to do this with you.
Hey, listen, it's great for me. I love being with my daughter. I love being with all of our new friends on social media, which, I mean, could you imagine me saying that 3 months ago?
I know.
Social media.
It's perfect. I love it so much. And you guys be sure to subscribe because
we'll be the last ones to let you down.
Beach Too Sandy, Water Too Wet is a comedy podcast featuring brother and sister duo Alex and Christina as they recap dramatic readings of one-star reviews written by real people with not-so-real problems. Whether it's a bar's no throw-up policy, a barista who's just too friendly, or a school psychologist's fashion sense, prepare for equal amounts of laughter and eye-rolling. Listen to Beach Too Sandy, Water Too Wet on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, or any of your favorite podcast apps. You can also find them on all social media platforms at Beach Too Sandy.